Welcome to the studio, Stafford.
Thanks for having me again.
We've been talking just before this about open data, big data, and ambient awareness. What does this all mean?
Well, it comes from a talk that I did at TEDx in Stellenbosch about a month ago. And the whole aspect of the talk was about cities. And what are cities and the ecosystems around cities and how little we actually know about cities. And I spoke within the context of creating ambient awareness, which is essentially embedding sensory and communication capability in most of the objects, facilities, inanimate things inside of a city, because there's still so much we don't know. And once you do this, and once you can start sensing things, and once you can get to data and things are communicating back, it is astonishing how you can take that big data and in an open manner start creating correlation, or allow people to extend it and augment it with third-party applications and build extra things around it. I mean, just one example is the live transit feed in a city. You know, if you take a look at South Africa, if you take a look at Johannesburg, the way the train schedule works, that's live data, but that's being captured in a way that is not standardized and it's not open to everyone. You know, the way the buses are moving is being captured. So can we somehow integrate all of these different live feeds into a central repository, open up that repository and allow third parties to access that real-time transportation feed so we can write third-party applications. So when someone's coming from here from overseas, or they can launch the mobile app for Joburg traffic or Joburg public transportation, and they can read it from a central store, and we can all augment our applications that we're building with this information. So the whole notion is, can we build sensory awareness into everything? Allow those things to communicate, put it into a central container so everyone can build apps and services around it. And this is not just a public sector city thing. This is enterprises have the same challenge around opening up this data.
I mean, government obviously will be more open to the idea of opening these application programming interfaces to developers. Do you think the business sector would be open to doing this?
I think so. I think there's a big strain right now on the CIO. We always talk about what is the CIO's role now.
Yes.
You know, we talk about cloud computing and essentially taking infrastructure that's deployed within an enterprise and moving it away up into the cloud. Now the question comes up, what is the role of the CIO moving forward? Do they become orchestrators of technology that lives outside of the company in the cloud somewhere? Well, perhaps. But I do think there's so much more that can be done with technology, that CIOs need to take a step back and realize that they can start building what I call ambient aware ecosystems. You know, go around, look at the facilities in a building, look at the physical objects, look at the inanimate things, build intelligence into those things, allow those things to communicate, capture information, traffic, just movement data, put that into a common repository, overlay that common repository with good communication, good taxonomy that's standard, with good descriptive language, meta tags. Open application programming interfaces so third parties can read into it and then watch what happens. You know, I worked with one of the largest furniture manufacturers in the world, brought us in and said, what can you do when you talk about ambient awareness and what do you mean? So we said, you know, you guys sell sofas, you sell fridges, you sell pot plants. Why don't we build and inject ambient awareness or communication capability into all these inanimate objects? Step one. That's the first step. You make them intelligent, you make them able to communicate. Now you have a sofa that can tell you, you know, your girlfriend said she was alone at home last night, but there's 400 kilograms that was sitting on the sofa. It can tell you that. You know, you can say, wait a minute, this pot plant needs water because it's just tweeted you saying, I need this based upon the plant and the composition of the soil. You can have a wine rack that can display this data. So that's about creating intelligence in inanimate objects.
Yes.
But on top of that, you need to have a good communications layer with a good descriptive language and a common standard. Then you open that up and it's amazing what people will do. They'll write third-party applications. Then on top of that, you start putting what I call social layering. So I'll give you a very crude example that we built for this company. We said, look, why can't we put a webcam in a fridge with a fogless lamp? And we link it to a mobile application. So while you're shopping in Pick n Pay or wherever, Woolies, and you're going through your grocery list, pushing the cart, you say, wait a minute, do I have eggs or do I have milk? Well, let me take a look in my fridge. Open up the app and you can see inside of it. You can see what's in your fridge and you can make decisions.
Now, I believe you've had some conversations with the city of Johannesburg about doing this stuff. How far have those discussions progressed, and what are some of the ideas that you've been looking at with them?
So what we're trying to do is, you know, like I said, the enterprises have this challenge. I think cities, you're absolutely right. There's so much more that we can do. And we want to drive this notion of government 2.0, where it's not government like the vending machine, putting money into the vending machine, products fall out. When products don't fall out, we kick vending machines, and it's very closed. We want to create more of a participatory framework. We believe if government can open up very simple systems, traffic analysis, whether things are working or not, like traffic lights, robots, sewage system, water levels. These things we would like, on behalf of the city, to augment and create and inject intelligence into all these objects and allow them to communicate into an open repository so we can extend that and write application services. Where are we? I'm working with Warren Hero from previously Gauteng Shared Services, and we're working with some folks in economic development, and we've got some university students involved. And essentially what we're trying to do is walk around and put RFID readers. We're looking at an open source hardware platform called Arduino, A-R-D-U-I-N-O. I'm trying to spread the word about Arduino and its possibilities, and injecting this peripheral capability into all of these objects. So yeah, we create a common code base and we open that up. We've seen this happen all over the world. Data.org, gov.data.org in the United States, datasf.org in San Francisco. The San Francisco mayor decided, I'm going to take every single municipal system and I'm going to open it up. And I'm going to allow people to write applications to augment and enhance municipal services. He did that. He launched datasf.org. Now you can write apps. He has a showcase container of apps that people have written. We've seen some amazing apps.
Some examples?
CabSense. CabSense is probably one of the coolest apps because it takes all the cool capabilities of a smartphone, like location data, sensory, motion, feel, and it integrates it with the live transit feed in San Francisco, so which is publicly available. So CabSense says, you want to go from year to year? I'm going to show you where you can go stand to get a cab in the quickest amount of time. It changes the UI of the phone. As you walk and it's pointing to you to where to go, it lights up and it says, stop, 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 stop. You can catch a cab here. And as you lift up your iPhone, it understands the motion and it actually hails the cab by whistling on your behalf.
Wow.
Right. That's a third-party app. Not written by San Francisco, but that's an app written utilizing the transit information that's been standardized and published out by citizens. We've got a 13-year-old kid that took the wireframe database for municipal buildings in San Francisco, integrated it with the iPhone's capability. Firefighters got to a building, burning, couldn't evacuate the people because they didn't have the planned schematics printed out. Took the iPhone, pointed it at the building, recognized where it was, rendered the wireframe of the building with touch capability. They could evacuate people. These are applications and services written by citizens and third parties. All government's role is to open that up and allow us to do it. And I'm trying to do that in Johannesburg. I'm trying to create a bit of a national movement, but let's start with Joburg. So Warren and I are working very closely, engaging with policymakers and saying, hey, there's a huge opportunity here. When foreigners are coming in, give them access to systems and services through a mobile app store for BlackBerry, for iPhone, for the Android devices. And when they come here, they can look at reality augmentation through their phones. They can see how to get to places through their phones. And it's stuff that we've written.
Sounds very exciting. It sounds, let's hope it gets here soon. Stafford, it's always great to have you in the studio to chat. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me. Ciao.